Hey guys, it's time for the second video. Today we're going to be talking about what all tools do you really need to get into the AC trade, whether you're going through trade school or you're just buying tools to be a helper at an existing company and you're going that direction. So we're going to give a basic rundown of what's in my tool bag. This right here is the Tech MCT tool bag by Vito. I'm going to bring it in the frame a little bit better, but as you can see, it's a tool pouch. It's got two sides. This has a pouch here. This one, I don't think they're in here, but I normally keep my copper cutters, stuff like that. I do have something that we'll showcase here, if I can get it out. This is becoming very much needed. This is a Pro Set mini split adapter for your gauges, so this is important to keep. But the real stuff that you really need is right here. Whether you're an installer or you're learning to be a technician, all these come in handy. So we're going to start off with it. I have, this is the Klein NutDriver Set. This is 1/4 inch. This is 5/16. I've had these for probably close to 6 years. They've lasted a long time. They're a little bent. Probably wouldn't hurt me to buy some new ones, but why buy them if they're not necessarily broke? So these are absolutely necessary. They reach where your drill can't reach in an air handler where you're trying to get to like an electric heat kit, a relay, stuff of that nature. Secondly, I would put one of these as a necessity in a tool bag. This is the Klein 14-in-1 screwdriver. Now this gets small enough for your thermostats, and you can go in, change it out. It's just like Klein's 11-in-1. You can use this in for whatever. It's pretty nice. It's versatile. You got even a smaller Flathead on this and a Phillips head. So would definitely would say this is a necessity. And guys, let me say this from the beginning. It doesn't have to be Klein. That's just my preference. You'll notice some of my tools aren't Klein as we go through them. So the next up on the agenda would be, I have several different, if I can get them out of here. Here they are. I have several different crescent wrenches. I even have a bigger one that's not in the tool bag right now, but I have a small one, I have a medium size, and then I have the largest one that they make in the 3 set that you can get from like Harbor Freight or from Lowe's. These come in handy whether you're trying to take caps off your service valves, you're trying to take service port caps off. These work great. Also, when you're changing blower motors and all that, they come in handy. So next up, we got the Klein regular #2 Phillips right here, and then just your basic flathead. All the Klein stuff has rubber handles on it, so really think that's a necessity. Next up, I call them, these are the Klein, I call them dikes. There might be an actual name for them, but basically you can cut with them. You can crimp wire connectors to wire with these. I use them for cutting zip ties a lot. They come in handy overall. Next, I have some Klein wire strippers. These right here. I'm trying to remember how much I paid for them. Actually, I think I got these on credit at the parts house for something I returned. So these are really nice to have. Definitely got to have some wire strippers. Now the next few things I'm going to show you, you might not have to have them. I personally prefer having them. I keep a backup flathead, 2 different backups. This is a super slim line. I'll get it out in a second. This is a super slim line Klein screwdriver. It can reach in, do the job in certain situations. This is just another regular flathead that I use for beating duct metal with sometimes when I have to. In case I break this one, I got my other one, or vice versa. I also keep just a spare Phillips head, because you never know if you're going to need one outside and inside. And if you're working by yourself, it's just nice to have one. And these, by the way, these are Craftsman screwdrivers. You could actually go to Walmart, Lowe's, not Walmart, sorry, and you can pay, I think it's between $4 and $8 for this set right here. Very inexpensive. I've used them for years, so I like keeping them as a backup. Lastly, or for the hand tool side, we have needle noses. These are actually Milwaukee's version of needle nose / wire strippers. They no longer really spring. I have to manually open them. Somebody broke them. So, but I still use them because I don't go buy a bunch of new tools. So all these are great tools. You also would need this. These are your copper cutters. If you're an installer or a technician, it's imperative you got to have some. These are just some Lennox copper cutters. You can buy these at Lowe's. You can buy them at Coburn Supply House, Johnstone. You can buy copper cutters pretty much anywhere. Acme, Solar Supply, Jackson Supply. There's so many different chain supply houses that you can buy these from. I think it's cool to have one of these too. This is just basically a little squeegee for all your tapes. If you're an installer and you're putting tape on a system to seal it off like mastic, you just smooth it out with this. Saves your hands and your credit card. So these are great. The last thing in this pouch that I really want to show you, I do have another screwdriver. It's 11-in-1. I lost all the fittings for the inside, so I use this when I'm changing out my blower motors because when you pull it off, it works on some of the sizes of the bolts that go in the blower motor in some situations. Also, it's got the core valve still in it, so definitely use that sometimes. But this is my favorite thing I want to talk about. This is the Fieldpiece SC440 voltmeter. We'll take a picture of all these and try to post them. But you can do temperature, your microfarads for capacitors. You could read your ohms. You could read your volts AC. You could read your volts in DC. You could read your hertz. Several different things. I really like this one because you could simultaneously check your volt with your meter and your amps. So you can clamp this amp clamp right here around, well, let me turn around so you can see it better. You can open this and put this amp clamp around the wire, and you could check your voltage at the same time because the volt setting allows you to see, if you press select on it, it allows you to see your amps and your voltage at the same time, which really helps you troubleshoot. So that's cool. Another reason I really like it, it's got this magnet on the back. They're not near as expensive as Fluke, and they work just as good in my opinion. One of the main other reasons I really like it is because this right here is actually a temp clamp. When you're checking your superheat and subcooling, whether you're starting up a system as an installer or you're running service calls trying to see if a system needs more refrigerant, this comes in handy. This right here, I keep it on the side of my bag. Simply just clamps onto it. You know, say that's the copper, it's going to clamp there. But on my meter, down here, you have this little switch. You could switch it to the word temp. This plugs in right here. And all of a sudden, when you go to Fahrenheit or Celsius, you can see what your temperature is in Fahrenheit and Celsius right here. So we'll see. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but this is super handy. I use it more often than I ever thought I would use it. So really like that. Lastly, I'm going to flip this thing around right quick so you can see it. I wouldn't advise somebody to buy this particular tool bag unless you have a bunch of tools, or else you're going to be like me. Just throw a bunch of junk in there. I have right angle bit. I have some Allen wrenches right here. Got a socket with a ratchet. Sometimes I use that. I got a level for when I'm putting up disconnects and whatnot. I have some channel locks. I have big ones, and I also have some small ones right here. So these little things come in handy. This is also something you really need. I didn't realize I'd overlooked it. This is a service wrench. This valves off your king valves on your condenser. So when you're pumping down the Freon into the compressor, this does that. Also, when you're opening up a system for the first time as an installer, you open it up with these. These come in great handy. You need one of these. They can be a little pricey depending on what parts house you buy them, but you gotta have one. Let's see what else I got. Just some cheap Harbor Freight side cutters for cutting zip ties because I'm a neat freak. I like when I'm running my copper line sets that everything be zip tied, and I'll go through 100 zip ties in one install easy. So I go back behind myself, cutting all of them with these. Different little things in here. I mean, if you're an installer, you might not need some of this. Let me see. I got different things like valve cores for changing your valve stems on your service ports. Got stuff like that. Also got spade connectors. Looks like I got to buy some more. These are your female. You crimp onto your wires. You can hook it up to a control board, things of that nature. As you work and you get going, come across little wires with the connectors on them. You can use them for jumpers, stuff like that. So that's pretty much what all I keep in this tool bag. So I would guesstimate, for everything that's right here on this table, if you had to go buy it, you're no more than $1,000. And you say $1,000 might be too expensive for your budget right now. Well, you don't have to buy Klein. You can go to Harbor Freight and buy the majority of this, probably with the exception of the meter, the temp clamp, and this service wrench right here. So outside of all these things I'm setting here, you can pretty much buy the majority of this at Harbor Freight for under $500. And probably, honestly, if you're a shopper like I am, you probably could get it for under $150 if you're trying your hardest and you're buying just the cheapest of the cheapest to get going. Because here's the thing, guys, one service call can pay for all these tools. You say that's crazy. Maybe you're price gouging. Well, it's not really price gouging. When you have the knowledge, you have the understanding of what you're doing, and you spend the money to get good tools like these Kleins here, these Milwaukee strippers, or these Klein wire strippers here, and then you go buy actual channel lock. Well, I'm losing my name right here. Pliers. But you start buying all these things, and it gets really expensive. But one job could pay for all this. And then after that first job that pays for all these tools, you're making money. So, it's really worth the investment buying stuff like this. I personally know with my meter, with all my Klein handheld tools right here, and the tool bag, I probably got close to $800 invested in it. And maybe a little bit more because I have went and bought more things that I know are not in my bag that should be right now. But you could buy these meters for under $300. They'll last you a long time. I've been using this particular meter for the last 4 years. And I actually have the first meter I ever bought when I come out of HVAC school. It still works. It just needs new leads. So I keep it in the truck as a backup in case this one dies. I just take these leads from it and I plug them into the other meter, and we just keep rocking and rolling. So there's a lot of great things you can do. If you got any questions, reach out to me. I'll try to make a tool list to put in here in the description of this video so you can know what you have to buy to get started. And I look forward to making more of these videos. If you got questions, reach out to me at Mr. Torrey's Heating and Air, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. You could message me on all three of those, and we're more than happy to go over some things that you want to see. So let me know, and we'll see you on the next one.